Hey Virgo, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through this week's reading. This is going to be our weekly reading for July 2nd through the 8th, 2023. Let's see what's going on with Virgo. At the heart of your reading, we have the Seven of Cups. So you're in a position of having a lot of opportunities in front of you, but you're looking for the best one. With the Nine of Cups here at the bottom of the deck, you're really wanting one of these things to be your wish come true. That's kind of the sense or the feeling that you have, that if you make the right choice, you could be living out one of your fantasies, so to speak. And I say that with a grain of salt because fantasies rarely end up being reality. But this one feels like it's something that you'd hope for. Yeah, okay. It is, okay. I see why I'm kind of getting this sense. Because in the challenge position, we had three cards come out. Queen of Wands reversed, King of Cups, and the Six of Cups in reverse. There is an idealized fantasy going on here, and it's coming from a place of insecurity with a person who, dare I say, feeds off of that emotionally. Someone who is, perhaps you view them as your emotional rock, someone who keeps you feeling grounded and centered. But there's a bit of like rose-tinted glasses going on here. Like, it could be that you have a pattern or a history in relationships of only seeing the good in people, or focusing on an idealized version of their potential, like what they could be, and holding them to that standard. But the fact that it has this juxtaposition of the King of Cups being in the upright and the Queen of Wands being reversed, there's definitely an imbalance with someone who has more emotional control and is perhaps reserved with those emotions, and someone whose self-esteem needs some work, feels insecure, and is tied up to this whole package energy of not a really healthy combination. So if this is your story, you already know that, because you're looking at a certain situation, whether it be that exact scenario that you're facing now, something that's already going on in your life, and you're trying to see it like, why do I want this? Is this just one of my options? Is there a better option out there for me? That's a possibility. But I think for most of you, you see that as kind of your history, your tendency, a pattern that you've been playing out in your life. And you want to right that energy. You want to be able to see things more clearly and not through the lens of perfectionism, of expecting your idealized version of a situation to roll out. Now, a maybe not so obvious part of rectifying that in your challenge is the fact that the Queen of Wands is reversed, which is that self-assuredness being missing. There's the potential for it, but this person's love isn't going to provide it for you, if that makes sense. So you're wanting to find your motivation and have it be something that's healthier for you. Perfect. Your focus is on the Ace of Wands in reverse. What doesn't light you up? Now, I don't mean that you are giving your focus unduly and unhealthily to something that you don't want, but you're focused in a healthy way on the aspects of becoming aware of like, oh, this actually doesn't excite me. This is actually something that I don't want to be actively involved in. It doesn't light me up inside. It doesn't spark joy, right? And it's likely that you're seeing a relationship through that lens now because we have the Two of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So if this is you leaving a relationship, or for the singles out there, just evaluating your life choices, your patterns, working on yourself, doing that inner work, and deciding conceptually, like, how you want to view things moving forward. And if it doesn't do it for you, if it doesn't light you up, it's not the thing for you, and you're getting clear on that. In the recent past, we have the Five of Pentacles. So some big change. It could mean a breakup. Probably it meant moving, because we have the Chariot here at the bottom of the deck, to just kind of underscore that possibility of moving out from a person that you lived with, or they moved out and you're still living in that place. There was some shift in living arrangements where what used to be a home is no longer a home for one or both of the individuals. This would also apply to a job if you've recently left a job. Because this is a general reading, it's not necessarily meant to apply directly to a relationship, although I do see it kind of more likely applying to those interpersonal dynamics within like a romantic committed relationship. The overall energy for the reading is the Emperor. You're meant to see power dynamics more clearly in a way that's, in a way that's going to benefit you, because we have the Wheel of Fortune here at the bottom of the deck. So in order to win at whatever game you're playing, if you say you look at life through that lens, not in like a tricky way, but like let's just posit that. Let's put that out there. If you look at different chapters of your life as a game you play, in order to win the game, you have to understand power dynamics. And I think part of what you don't want moving forward is giving up your power or having unbalanced power dynamics. No matter how healthy one person is emotionally, if there's a perceived imbalance in who's more self-assured, who is making the decisions based on worrying that it's going to be the wrong thing, or certainty of what brings them joy and happiness. I get this like almost people pleaser energy off of the Queen of Wands in reverse, because she's not sure what she wants. She doesn't trust her own choices. She's more concerned about keeping up appearances and having other people in her life help her feel more confident. So she gives up her power in order to accomplish that. It's kind of this King of Cups isn't necessarily asking for the Queen of Wands energy. She's giving it though. It would be a much healthier balance if she would write that energy instead of being in the reverse sort of energy, and feel more confident. Do things that make her happy, whether while partnered with her person or when she's spending time alone. There's something about the wands being reversed here that's really jumping out at me, because the Emperor has mastered all four suits. It has risen to power in the Empire and perfected or improved, become the best version of himself, including the area of his passion, his desires, and the action that he takes because of that. So this Queen of Wands being in a state of inaction, of perhaps not fully believing in herself, needing the reassurance of other people to have a stronger sense of self-esteem. That's the thing that's here that I see needs work. So it's likely, because this is your reading, if you're watching this, that I'm talking about you. It is possible, however, that this is someone else that you care about, and you're wondering how to make sense of the dynamic that's happening. Maybe by watching this, it brings you a better understanding, so you're able to navigate that a little bit better. But your focus being on the Ace of Wands in reverse, it's like, if you don't want it, don't do it. So if this is your person, and maybe you are the King of Wands energy, you're wanting to give them the space to figure out what they want and why. But more likely that this is actually happening internally for you. Show me the near future. The Moon energy, delving into a lot of the unknowns. So this is a very healthy path, especially with having the Sun at the bottom of the deck as that comes out. We have the two luminaries showing up. So shedding light on the areas that are less understood within yourself. It's going within to figure out, well, what do I really want and why? If I want a certain type of job, is it just so people will give me praise so I'll feel better about myself? Maybe I don't even really enjoy that job. Maybe if I figure out what I do enjoy, what I do love, then I'll feel like more whole, more balanced, more healthy, like I'm doing something for myself instead of for other people. The Sun is going to light up your path as you go through this period of introspection, so that even more so than the Moon energy, it's like you're going to see opportunities within yourself, not even just externally. What I mean by that is when you evaluate like what you bring to the table, what you like, your skill sets, what you enjoy, certain things are going to start connecting for you where you're like, oh, you know what? I know how to do this from my experience like with this hobby that I was involved with. I know how to do these two things because of a job that I had, but I never thought about using those skills together to accomplish X, Y, and Z. So there's some sort of connecting the dots that's going to happen for you, where you're going to see an opportunity that like the abilities and skills are already within you. Your external energy, what's going to affect the situation that you don't necessarily see coming, is the High Priestess in reverse with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, your instincts about something are going to prove wrong, and I don't say that lightly. And this isn't about like casting doubt on your instincts. Definitely hone that and learn to trust it. But there's a certain aspect of either not being able to do it all, or if I take this on, it'll be too much, or I've seen people try to do this while they're doing the other thing and fail. So your instincts are off about something, and that's going to surprise you when you realize, oh, like that doesn't necessarily apply to my situation now, whereas before you've been thinking that it did. So be willing to reevaluate those sorts of instinctive beliefs. It may also be you think if you get involved with someone that has too much on their plate, that they'll drop you. Whether that be in a relationship or a project or whatever that you're focusing on now. Like, what do I want and why? I think, okay, the relationship dynamics that I've been discussing earlier may or may not be like the main point of this reading. It's definitely a big factor, but I think it's more about this writing that Queen of Wands energy. And that could be pursuing goals and dreams and visions of your own that have nothing to do with being in a relationship. You know, I feel it's more in that vein. Okay, your hopes and fears, I love it. 10 of Pentacles. So you have big hopes, but they're idealized, perfected versions of your future. That's all good, because in terms of the tarot, the 10 of Pentacles is a necessary and positive energy, almost always. So it represents your goal for your life. Where do you want to end up? Like, so that when you look back at your life, you'll feel like you lived a good life, in your own opinion. I accomplished the things that I wanted to do. I lived the sort of life I wanted to have. If you wanted to have a big family, if you wanted to have pets, if you wanted to have a nice place to live, like, this is very like full arc story of your life sort of energy. And it's also not only that, but it's like these benchmarks along the way that have you feeling like, this is where I want to be at this point in my life. This is where I want to be at this point in my life. It's a difficult energy to stay in long term because change happens, because upheaval and chaos happens. The unknown comes in and forces tower energy at the bottom of the deck as I'm talking. Yeah, so you will experience like shakeups, but these points that you work toward and get toward that make you feel accomplished, that make you feel like you've gotten to where you want to be. Now, I do want to say that having it in the upright means that this comes from within. This is your view of what you want and why. This is like, do you want beauty? Do you want recognition? Do you want riches? Do you want status? Like, do you want influence? There's all sorts of different motivations that are informing our choices as humans day to day. This is saying, okay, there's a reason why I'm going down this path. I'm not doing a great job in getting it out, so bear with me. It's like, when it comes from you, it's healthy. And that's what you're hopeful for, that you'll work towards a vision that is coming from you. I think what's happening at the heart of this story, the way I see the rest of the spread, is that you're fearful that you're making decisions based on what other people want, their visions for the future. You're building the life that someone else wants, or you have a tendency or a history of doing that, and you are working on adjusting your decision making so that it's more based on what you want. But if you don't have a lot of experience doing that, it's tough. It's tough to get out of that mindset of, well, you know, it's not really important to me, so what do you want? Let's do what you want. And finding fulfillment off of supporting someone else's vision for the future, their dreams and goals. And I think that, yeah, this is a kind of a very powerful sort of energy that you're going through right now. And I definitely commend you for putting in the effort here. Let's see where we end up. How do these energies resolve for Virgo? Knight of Cups in reverse. I think you're going to identify at least one thing in your life that you've been taking action toward that is not something that you're emotionally connected with. You're doing it either to please someone else, or your motivations are not centered in you. And that's the culmination of this, is that realization. You will have taken enough perspective from the situation to get clear on that. Now, what you do with it perhaps isn't something that's happening this week or next week. We'll see how next week's reading turns out. But we have one more card, which is wait and see. Your advice is 3 of Wands, which is get yourself to a state where you can receive what you want, and then patiently wait for it to arrive. So in order to do that, you have to get clear about what you want, ask for it from the universe or from your higher self or from God, whatever your belief system is. Trust and believe that it's on its way to you, and then follow your instinct about where you need to be and when. Maybe not specifically, maybe energetically or emotionally, but stay in that state of patiently waiting for it to arrive. Trust that it will be on its way. It will come to you. This clarity is going to really leave you in a position well suited to receive something that you actually want. But it's going to take you not just immediately saying, okay, I've realized it, where's the thing that I want? It's like, okay, yeah, realize that there's a state of letting things unfold in your favor. That even if you've done everything perfectly and you've done the inner work and you've succeeded in identifying this thing, I'm no longer going to take action on that path towards something that I'm not emotionally invested in. It's not rewarding for me. I don't want it. Wait. Stay in that state. Don't, if in a couple days or a week or 2 weeks, things don't immediately turn around and you start being presented with new opportunities, don't start doubting that decision. Don't jump back into, well, okay, a new thing didn't pop up, so I'm just gonna, maybe I'm gonna go back into doing that thing that I wasn't really emotionally invested in. Stick to your guns, trust, and something will show up that's better. Something that's more aligned, something that's more rewarding, something that's more emotionally fulfilling for you. All right? Thanks so much, Virgo. Take care. Good luck this week, and I'll see you back next week.